skip it up and that up. So Nintendo's making mobile games. Yay! They're gonna make games for tablets and Android and iOS. Yay! No, they're not. They're gonna make apps that give you a taste of what their hardware can do. And maybe they'll have a couple game-like features like super mini games, but not actual games. There was an interview that Reggie Fils-Aimé had with King 5 News, and he basically said, hey, we realize there's a huge market out there with tablets and with smartphones. And in a nutshell, he said, it's a great way to advertise, a great way to bring people to our hardware, but there's not a chance in hell that will ever bring our full-fledged games. Like, you're not going to get a full Zelda game. You're not going to get a full Mario game. You're not going to get a full Metroid game. But we'll give people a taste because it would be a great way to market. And you know what? I agree with that approach. Back when the 3DS was struggling, when it first came out of the gate, the price was too high. They didn't really have any must-have games yet, and I was, really, I got to give Nintendo credit. God bless them, man. They really came through with the 3DS, and I didn't see that coming. But back when they first kind of were dropping the ball with the 3DS, and I was like, man, maybe they should. Maybe, bringing Mario 64 to Android would be a great idea, or even the older Zelda titles. But now that the 3DS is doing well, I kind of see, and I agree with, actually, wholeheartedly, I shouldn't say kind of, I think it would be a bad idea, and I understand and really agree with Nintendo as to why they shouldn't bring out, like, AAA titles to Android and iOS. What you have to realize is they have their own hardware. Duh, I mean, it herp derp. I know, that's been my phrase, herp derp, lately. I think this will be the last video I say it in. But if they brought, especially the 3DS with how well it's doing, imagine if they brought Link Between Worlds to Android. That would totally kill, or at least hurt, the market for the 3DS. Imagine you could get it, a Link Between Worlds on the iPod Touch. That takes away the demand for Nintendo's exclusive hardware. So I think their approach is really good. Give people a little taste here, maybe throw in a mini game that they could download on iOS and Android, and it'll draw them over to Nintendo's hardware. And it's funny, other people were saying it too, but if you think about it, I know Microsoft did maybe one or two Halo-esque games that you could get. I think Verizon was doing some push with one of their smartphones or something one time, but you don't see Microsoft putting a full-fledged Halo 4 game on Android or Windows phones, or you know what I'm saying? They own Windows Phone and they're still not doing it. Like a full-fledged game, like a first-person shooter. You're not seeing Sony put an Uncharted game on the Android market because it would diminish the value of their hardware. So I think this is smart. I used to think differently when, like I said, the 3DS was struggling, but now that, that system's doing well, Wii U is a different story, even though the sales are picking up, but it is the holiday season. It'll be interesting to see what happens in January and February with the Wii U. I think this is the right approach, and I agree with them. You have hardware, you want to bring people over to your hardware. Don't bring the games to other platforms to give them a reason not to buy your hardware. That would be stupid and counterproductive, and it would be a cannibalistic business practice. So what's your take on this? Do you think Nintendo should bring AAA titles over to iOS and Android, or are you in my boat where you think that would be a terrible idea and it would hurt their sales of hardware? Make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and as always, thank you for supporting Review Tech USA. Have a good one.